Hey everyone, welcome back to Elevator Pitch. My name is Joe Ennis, and today I am talking to Adam Tafoya. Adam and his wife are located in Albuquerque, New Mexico, and they run a company called Educated Wallet. Educated Wallet is an app, it's a website, and it's a list of courses that you can take to learn about and get educated about managing your money and financial strategies and things like that. They have set it up in a way that it is very easy for new people who are just entering maybe the business world to digest. But they also have, different strategies for people that have been around a while and they just need help learning how to maybe restructure their financial strategy and that need help in different areas. They hit things from 401ks to loans to retirement funds, a lot of different areas. And I really enjoyed the episode. I thought Adam brought a ton of super important information to the table that, again, like I said, not just young people can learn from, but more experienced business owners as well. So check the link in the description for their new app. Go download it or check out their website to get access to some courses. And yeah, enjoy the episode. Hey everybody, welcome back to Elevator Pitch. My name is Joe Ennis. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. And today's guest, I am super excited, is Adam Tafoya. Adam, welcome.
Thank you. It's good to be here with you, Joe.
So Adam, I always start out, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us a little bit about Educated Wallet and what you do.
Yeah, awesome. So I'm born and raised in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Joe and I were talking about this. It's Breaking Bad country for all you
Yeah.
Bryan Cranston and Breaking Bad fans, or Better Call Saul. I like Better Call Saul.
Or El
Born and
Camino,
raised
the movie.
El Camino. There you go. I Albuquerque in New Mexico is an amazing place. I do a lot of rock climbing in the mountains, and I can do it all year long because our weather is pretty moderate. So I love that. I've got 3 kids that drive me crazy, but keep me on my feet and are very fun. Educated Wallet was created so my background is in financial advising. I worked for a large investment company, managing accounts for quite a long time. And I saw some of the good things, obviously, that we were doing with clients and helping people with that. But I also saw the need for a lot more, that the traditional financial advising or financial services business or industry kind of excludes a lot of people or leaves a lot of people out. So I'm in my 30s. I consider myself a millennial. When I had started, I was not quite 30 yet, and I had a lot of friends who were finishing school, and they would come to me and say, hey, I got my first grown-up job. I'm done with school. I got my first grown-up job. I want to start investing. I know it's important to save. And with the large investment company that I was with, like a lot of other companies, Merrill Lynch, Edward Jones, those companies, you have to have certain minimums to work with those companies. And so same with me, I'd have to tell my friends, well, I can give you some guidance, but how much do you have? Well, I've got 5,000, I got 1,000, I've got, $500 a month that I want to put away. And I'd have to tell them, well, our minimum is 50,000 or 100,000. I can't help you. And that was always a struggle for me because I knew they wanted help. I knew they needed help. And so Educated Wallet was born out of this desire to be able to provide that same level of education that you would get with working one-on-one with a financial advisor, get that same quality, that same level, that same access at a much lower cost, and at what I think is a better value and a better quality, because you can't always access a financial advisor, right?
Right.
It's not like you're not meeting with them on a weekly basis or getting advice on a weekly, maybe once a year, a couple times a year. But we created Educated Wallet. We created a series of courses that are very specific on the type of planning that people should have, and also the things that they should know about their money, right? Our society and our school system, right? High school, college, you don't get that financial education, right? And that's something that we should have, right? Everybody goes to college hoping to get a job after they get out of college. And one of the first things you do when you get to your job is you go through your benefits meeting, right? Here's your 401k, here's your life insurance, here's your health insurance, dental. And nobody has ever taken a class on that or been taught that in school, and they have no idea what it is, right? And so, what's a 401k? What do those numbers even mean? How do I invest? How do I, like, I don't know what to do. And so a lot of people don't do it because they just don't have that education.
Mm.
And so our goal through Educated Wallet is to be able to provide that education that you should have gotten in school, provide that education at a very high level. And what we mean high level is in like very good quality, that you would get from a licensed, and certified advisor, but at a fraction of the cost and at a much more accessible, area.
Mm.
So they can go through the online course at their own pace. They will learn everything that I would teach an individual, if I were sitting down with them one-on-one as a financial planning client. We just came out with an app. It should be available October 5th in the Apple
Awesome.
store. It's available on Android, so you can go download it. It's Educated Wallet. But again, our point is to make this type of education very accessible to everybody, right? Whether you meet minimums or not. A lot of times, I mean, money is a very personal thing, right? People don't like talking about money. It's kind of taboo in our culture, right? You're sitting around the dinner table with mom and dad. Hey, dad, how much money do you make? Oh, that's rude. You don't ask questions like that, right?
Yeah.
Or, and so it's taboo, and you don't get good at things unless you practice them or talk about them, right? So we don't get good at money because we don't talk about it or practice it.
Mm.
And so we want to encourage people to get good at their money, but we want to make it like it's intimidating to go meet with a financial advisor in a suit and tie in a big office, right?
Yeah.
And so a lot of people don't do it. And so we want to make it to where people can get that information that they still want, that education and that self-development, create a good relationship with their money without feeling intimidated or embarrassed or ashamed. And they can start to really progress. Money is so closely tied to everything that we do, right? We need money.
Yeah.
It affects our relationships. Number one cause of stress for people is money.
Yeah.
And number one cause of health issues is stress. And so if the number one cause of stress is money, and the number one cause of divorce is money, all of those things, learn a little bit more about money, learn how to manage it, learn how to create a good relationship with money, and educate yourself on a few simple things, and it can change so many aspects of your life.
That's
So
awesome.
that's what Educated Wallet is about.
Yeah, that's so cool. So that answered a lot of the questions that I was planning on asking. I mean, things like, what problems you guys see. It seems like you just answered that. When it comes to young people trying to save money or knowing what to do with their money. I have a question following up. Kind of what separates. So there's a lot of courses now in today's day and age. A lot of people are putting out courses. A lot of people are saying, "Hey, listen to me. I know what to talk about." What separates Educated Wallet from the rest of the pack when it comes to specifically what you're teaching in your courses? Are there any like specific tips that you think most people aren't teaching that you believe are keys? What separates you? What sets you guys apart?
Yeah, so one of the things that sets us apart, because we've done a lot of research on other courses that are out there. There are a lot of people that teach different things about money, making money, starting businesses, investing. A lot of very smart people that do that, and I've gone through a lot of those courses myself. A lot of experts out there. I think people should take advantage of as much of that as possible. One of the things that we feel sets us apart, because we've done research, a lot of those companies offer great information, but they're not necessarily licensed financial advisors. So I mean, they're allowed to offer that information, right, and teach people about those things. But from that point forward, in terms of implementing, right, they're not setting up accounts or managing accounts for people. Some people need that, some people don't, right? Some people can do that on their own. Or other pieces of the financial puzzle, right? Life insurance, other things like that other people need. Some of those other companies, those other programs, other courses, they can't, or they're not doing that implementation phase, right? We teach people how to do all of that so they can. We always say, if we do our job right, you should be able to go through this course and do everything on your own,
Cool.
manage your account, set everything up, know how to do it. But if we do our job right, you'll want to stay part of our community, and you'll want to let us continue, or, allow us to continue to help you and stay with you throughout that journey. So that's one of the big differences, is that, in my office, I'm a licensed and certified advisor. We have CPAs as well, and so some of those courses where they offer great advice, or things, they can't necessarily offer specific advice. As somebody, on our app, somebody can send in a chat, or they can send that through our Facebook group, or they can email us, and they can say, hey, this is my situation, and we can respond with very, very specific advice, because we're licensed and we're allowed to do that, and we're qualified to do that. So that's, I think, one of the things that sets us apart. The other thing that I think sets us apart is that, we always say, and on our website, it says, we feel like you are your own best financial advisor. You know yourself, for the most part, better than anybody. And so if you just learn a few simple things, you will be able to make better decisions than anybody else can for you, right? As a financial advisor, I got to get to know somebody in order to make recommendations that I feel are good for them. But if you know that information, you can make those really good decisions and for yourself.
Cool.
So we believe that, you are your own best financial advisor, and that you should never have to blindly trust another advisor, right? I always give the example of, I really like cars, but like, I don't know how to work on them necessarily, right? And so if something goes wrong with my car, I take it to the mechanic, and I'm like, I got to make the noise that it makes. It's making this noise. Can you figure out? And they come back and say, this is the part that needs to be replaced. And I have to kind of blindly trust that, he's giving me the right advice. He's being honest with me.
Right.
Well, we don't really want to ever have to do that with our money, right? We don't want to have to say, hey, you're the expert. I don't understand this money stuff or this investing stuff. You just tell me what to do. For the most part, advisors out there do an amazing job for their clients and are not dishonest. And that's not really the issue. The real issue is that people feel much more confident when they know what's going on with their money, as opposed to laying that out and expecting an advisor or a professional to do that for them. Right. And so we always say you should be on the same page, and a little bit of education, a few simple steps can get you to that position.
That's cool. So, and by the way, I forgot to mention this earlier. The app and all links that you mentioned will be in the description of this episode. If you're watching on YouTube, it's down below. If you're an audio listener, it's in the description. So make sure you download the app and start, educating yourself on what you should do with your money. My next question is, so we've talked a lot about, people that don't necessarily know what they're doing. What about the people that are a little farther along? What can they benefit from working with you guys? Maybe they kind of have a plan. What do you guys do? Maybe it's with your community, or how you guys reach out to them and discuss with them. What do you guys do for those people?
Yeah, so we have a few different options in our courses. They're designed to get progressively more advanced. And when I say advanced, it's not like we're going through crazy, graphs and charts and analyzing all this stuff. We can, and some people we do that with. Most people don't necessarily need that. They need to know how to manage their money. They need to create a good relationship, good feelings towards their money. They need to have the right mindset, or else investing and putting away money, it's not going to really do them a whole lot of good, right? So we start with that, and then we progress into what we call some of the more advanced stuff. So somebody who maybe is already good at managing their money, they've paid down debt, they're saving money, they have investment accounts. We're able to come in and either enhance what they're already doing, give them a little bit more information. Most of the time, people who are saving or investing, they're doing a good job in that area, but there might be a few tweaks or changes that they can do. We see that in almost every case, or a few different things that they can do to just improve even better the situation that they're already in.
Cool.
And we're able to do that again because we are certified and licensed, whether it's on the tax strategies or taxes, or on the investment side, or just the future planning. We are able to offer that specific advice. And so somebody who feels like they're already set, well, that's great. If you're already working with an advisor, that's great. You're kind of ahead of the game. You can use Educate a Wallet to enhance what you're doing, right? Go through that education, take that back to your advisor. If you don't have an advisor, go through that education still, and you can work with one of us if you choose. But our program is designed so that you get all the information that you need. We also have monthly, people can tune into those. We either do webinars or a Facebook Live. People can submit their questions. We'll go through and
Cool.
answer those questions, because a lot of times somebody has a question. There are a lot of other people who have that same question.
Yeah.
And so they can get value out of that, right? They've gone through the course, they've completed that. They're maybe a little bit more advanced. Well, they can tune into those group sessions and just continue to get value, continue to get support along the way. They can schedule one-on-one meetings with us and really go deeper into what they're already doing. And we always say, having somebody take a second look at what you're doing can be really beneficial, because you either are then, you go through a meeting, we look at what you're doing, and we either say, you're great, you should continue on what you're doing, or, you're doing great, but let's make a small change here, and this is what it's going to do for you. Right. And so, I'm a little biased in that, but we always feel like that can be super beneficial for anybody in any position.
Sure. Yeah.
Whether you have a bunch of money or a little bit of money, whether you're older or younger, that type of education and those types of meetings can be really helpful.
Cool. Another question. This has been a wild year. This has been a crazy year. What advice would you give to people specifically in this time, this COVID era? What specific maybe questions have you guys been getting recently, potentially, about how people should change what they're doing because of COVID and because of the situations and people potentially losing jobs or losing clients? What should people be aware of right now, and potentially consider, potential action steps that they should consider doing because of all of this with their money?
Yeah. So COVID has been kind of crazy, because we kind of thought that it was going to, destroy the stock market, and a lot of things. It did initially drop, and then it's gone right back up. And that's a really, really good thing, right? And there are several different reasons for that. Interest rates staying low allows people to keep buying stuff, right? They get money for cheap, buy houses, and so it keeps the economy going. People are still spending money. It's just transitioned to online instead of how it was before, and so that's kept the economy going. I don't think that's going to last forever. And obviously it's hard to predict, but one of the biggest questions that we've gotten is, what should I be doing now during COVID? Because it seems like the stock market is doing great, right?
Yeah.
The trap with that, and it take 2008 for example, right? Stock market was doing great until it didn't. Right. And that's going to be the same thing with this, right? The stock market is going to come down eventually. We don't know when, but it does the same thing. It's a pattern. All we have to do is look back in history, and people tend to fall into the same traps and same patterns, right? So emotionally they get involved or invested. Oh, the market's doing great, I'm going to stay in it. I'm going to keep on doing what I'm doing. I don't need to make any changes because the stock market's doing great. Well, it always does great until it doesn't, right? I don't remember who said it, and I'll have to look it up, but the quote, right, that things happen gradually and then suddenly, right? And that's almost always what happens with the stock market, is that we see it going up or it stays up. It's been up for the past, since 2008. There has not really been a major dip. It has to come down. Our stock market is cyclical. Typically, if we look back in history, every 7 to 8 years, the market goes up and then it comes back down for different reasons, right?
Yeah.
2008 was an example like that. 2001, in the 2000s, we had the dot-com bubble. 2000, the real estate. Well, we haven't had anything for the past 10 or 11 years, right? Or, longer now. And that's due to a lot of different things, kind of the interest rates being manipulated and things like that. It's kept the stock market high. COVID, we thought it was going to bring it down and it didn't. And again, people tend to invest emotionally and not necessarily logically. That's not always the case, right? But you want to be able to look at it logically and say, hey, we're kind of past due the time when the market probably should have come back down. And COVID is going to have an effect. We're not seeing it yet, really, but it's going to have an effect, right? Job loss, unemployment, certain, businesses going out of business, certain sectors of the economy doing better, certain sectors of the economy not doing so great. And so you want to look at that. And my recommendation is to, again, this is part of the education, right? When I ask, a lot of times when I ask people, what kind of account do you have? A lot of times people don't know. How is it invested? Oh, I don't know. I haven't looked at it in a while. So that education piece, making sure, and not that you have to look at your accounts every single day, right? But making sure that you know what you have and how it's invested, looking at how aggressive that is, because the stock market will come down. Again, it could be beginning of 2021. It could be the middle of the year. It could be the end of the year. It will come down eventually. And you want to be protected from that, right? Warren Buffett, he's a pretty good investor, right?
Yeah, I'd say so.
He always says the number one rule of investing is never lose money. And the number two rule of investing is don't forget rule number one. And so losing money is a huge detriment, right? We know, if the market goes down, we'll ride it out and it'll come back up. And a lot of people, what they lost, like back in March, they're now above that. But when we look at longer term periods where the market goes down and even, bigger dips, and then it takes a while to recover, like 2008, it took the average investor 4.5 years to get back to even, because they had a hole to dig out of, right? They lost all this money, 2008, 30, 35, 40, 50%. Took them 4 years. So 2012 to 2013, most of those investors were breaking even to where they were in 2008. That's a long time
to
wait and to miss out on the growth of the market, because during that whole time, the market shot back up.
Right.
But it took that market shooting back up to get those people back to even. Well, if you can protect your accounts and have good strategies in place, and you can make the hole that you have to dig out of smaller or make no hole.
Yeah.
Right. Then you could, then you're a lot better protected, especially the closer you get to retirement. And one of the things, right, with you, like you and I being younger, there's kind of this idea that, well, the younger you are, the more risk you can take, because if you lose money, you have time, the market's going to come back and you have time to make that up. And I don't agree with that at all. I don't think that no matter what age you are, it's not fun to lose money, and it's not good to lose money. And I've actually run the numbers. If you run the numbers on what if I have an account and a 50-year-old has an account, and we both lose money, right? And then we both have to, gain our money back.
Sure.
I actually lose out on more than the 50-year-old because I have more time. So if my money has to recover, and I have more time, compounding interest, right, is all about time. I have more time than that 50-year-old. So my account would be a lot bigger if I didn't lose any money.
Sure.
Than that 50-year-old's account, right? Because he has less time.
Right.
So the younger you are, that I don't really agree with that idea, that, well, you can afford to be more aggressive. Maybe, but should you? Maybe not. All right. So that's been one of the biggest questions, right? How should I be investing right now? What should I be doing? And I just tell people, make sure you know what you have, and that you protect what you have. And that doesn't mean, like stick the money under a mattress or not invest it. It just means have certain things in place that's going to protect your money.
Sure. That's awesome. That's great advice. Adam, this has been super, super helpful and super cool. And obviously I'm going to take a lot of this into consideration. I think I could save more than I do. Definitely. I have kind of two questions left. First question is, who are your ideal clients? Do you guys have ideal clients? It seems like pretty much anyone that needs money, which is everyone, could be a client of yours / work with you guys in some capacity. But who are your ideal clients that you look for?
Yeah, I mean, we have online courses for every age group. We have one for like a high school and college age.
Cool.
have another one for millennials we call Money Guide for Millennials, and then we have a retirement course. And so, we have information that can really help. Since I am a millennial, and obviously a lot of my friends are, that's my passion, is to work with that age group, and so that is really our niche, and who our ideal clients are. We work with a lot of millennials. If we kind of narrow it, if I were to be more specific than millennials, I would say married millennial entrepreneurs, because that's the exact position that I'm in.
Sure.
I'm married, I'm a millennial, and I own a business. And so I know how to talk to those things and what things to consider, and kind of,
Yeah,
with
makes
my own
sense.
experiences. But we love working with younger people. I mean, we love working with everybody, but one of my areas of expertise is also college planning and college funding.
Hmm.
And so, helping parents and helping, students that are getting ready to go to college, or maybe they're already in college, plan, make sure they can pay for college the most efficient way possible, get the most amount of money possible from the schools, from scholarships, from different things, make sure they're aware of good and bad loans, how they work, right? Student debt is a huge, right? I think it surpassed,
Yeah, massive.
all, cumulatively all other debt that,
Hmm.
that people have. It's just crazy right now. And so, we love helping people understand those things so that they, that sets them up for a better financial future. It's sad or kind of disappointing to see, people in their 20s are going into college making these financial decisions that are going to affect them for years and years and years, right? They take out
Yeah.
a loan, and then another loan to pay for college, and it's going to take them 20 years to pay that off,
Yeah.
right? Or maybe longer, right? And so that's going to affect them for a really long time. And so we want to be able to help, those groups of people, and those families in those situations.
That's awesome. That's super cool. Yeah, I'm one of those people that when I was planning for college, I was one of those people that and I wouldn't say I think mainly it was because my parents were smart and educated in this way, but I was like, I'm not leaving with debt. There's no
Yeah.
way that I am leaving with debt. I didn't. Granted, I only got an associate's. I went to Montgomery College. Actually, I don't even know
Uh-huh.
if I finished. I don't think I did. I don't even think I have an associate's, but I have no
Yeah.
debt, and I love it, and I love what I
That's
do, so
great.
I don't
Yeah.
need to.
And I
But I
think
have
a
a
lot
bunch
of
of friends
people
that
are
do.
yeah, a lot of people are reevaluating, right, that traditional college route, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Depending on the career that you're interested in or want to go into, that may, you may need college, you need a degree, right? Doctor
Yeah.
or whatever.
Oh yeah, 100%.
But some people you might not, right?
Yeah,
Depending on
it's
the
true.
career path, and you can avoid a lot of financial hardship and debt. And so we always encourage people, especially younger people. We work with some schools. We have what we call a teens club.
Cool.
And we always encourage them, like, take some assessments, some character assessments, some value assessments, interest
Yeah.
assessments. Really figure out if college is the right path for you. Just because
Right.
society says you should doesn't mean you have to.
Adam, thank you so much for being here today. How can people get involved with you? Please plug away all of your socials, all your links, all your products, do everything. How can people get in touch with you? The whole shebang.
Yeah, so we put out a lot of free content on Facebook. You can look up Educated Wallet, Instagram, Educated Wallet. My wife has an Educated Wallet family account.
Cool.
She posts pictures of our cute kids, but also tips and strategies for families, right? And then LinkedIn, same on Facebook and Instagram, but we do a lot of free videos, of videos that we put out weekly, sometimes daily, that are really good tips, right? Things to consider, real short videos. So LinkedIn, you can find me, Adam Tafoya. And then our website, educatedwallet.com, and our app, Educated Wallet. You can go download that. You get free videos and access and all of that stuff. So
That's awesome. And again, listeners, all the links to everything Adam Tafoya and Educated Wallet will be in the description of this episode. Adam, thank you so much, guys. Make sure that, if you don't know where to start when it comes to managing your money, young or old, please think about giving Educated Wallet a shot. I think they could definitely really help you, and they definitely care about what they do and how they can help you. Adam, thank you so much again. Anything else you want to say before we close?
Awesome. I think that was it. Yeah, this was awesome. I appreciate it.
Hey, thanks again to Adam for coming on the show. I had a blast. Make sure to check out the description to download their new app. Go to their website and get their course. It's super, super cool. I've been able to take a look at it, and I love it. Also, remember to hit subscribe wherever you're listening, so that you get notified for new episodes. Thanks again, everybody.